Hello everyone, we are Caterina and Gloria, two graduating students of Corporate Communication and Public Relations, and today during the Creativity and Design course we are going to attend the Designing the Future Through Creative Talents IULM FLOW, a conversation with Oscar di Montigny about reflections for the third millennium, gratitude, Humanovability and Sferical Economy. Oscar di Montigny is an international writer, popularizer, and keynote speaker, and an expert on megatrends, innovation, sustainability, and positive impact. He's also the creator of Sferical Economy and the Humanovability principles. There is the need to sow and cultivate a vision in humanity. How can we make the world understand that we need to broaden our vision and seek an enriching, improving, and inclusive perspective? This is the question that in 2011 led Oscar di Montigny to decide to speak up. And it is with this question that I would like to welcome Oscar di Montigny and thank him for his presence today at the IULM FLOW. Thank you, and now I leave the floor to Oscar di Montigny.
In my last 19 years of life, I had the chance to share some experiences of my professional and personal life with very interesting people around the world. Scientists, economists, artists, and thinkers, or we can call them philosophers. And it's a kind of fluid international community of people who, like me, have the chance to travel the world and to give speeches, talks to corporations, companies, or international events. And we've been working into this community for a long while on a question: if our generation, ourselves, all of us, but mainly your generation, if we're living an epoch of changes or a change of epoch. Actually, these questions might sound similar, these two questions might sound similar, but they are actually not similar at all. The humankind history went through, along its path, went through many epoch of changes. Today, we could say that every single day could be a very tiny epoch of changes. But thinking on a large scale, talking about humanity and humankind, you should be aware of the fact that the epoch that we are living in right now is a very unique and unexpected epoch. And it is going to be a change of epoch. When there is an epoch of changes, you have time to stay after the changes, trying to be on time, in the right place, at the right moment, to do the right thing, with the right thoughts, acting in the right way, and so on. When there is a change of epoch, everything changes in a second, and is going to be totally different from the past. Paul Valéry used to say, future is not going to be what is used to be. Future, this time, is not going to be as it used to be. And when everything changes, whatever you have been taught, might not work anymore. Even what you'll be learning today might not be useful in few seconds. And as I was telling you, you are going to be living for your entire life, probably, talking about mega trends, big scenarios, stuff that I've been working on for almost 20 years across this international community, what has been nominated a change of epoch that is going to redesign totally the world, the economy, and by economy I mean anything. Any exchange is an economical exchange. Economy is not just paying some money to be served, to get a service, to get a product. We're having an economical exchange in this moment. I'm offering you suggestions, provocations, ideas, thoughts. You are paying me with your time, with your attention, and so on. And then your lives are going to be totally redesigned. So one of the main questions today that we should be focusing on is, do you want to be designed by the change of this epoch, or do you want to contribute to the redesign to the change of epoch? Because the only certain thing that you will be living in this epoch. So differently from my generation and from the majority of the generations who live this planet along the humankind history, you have the chance to be one of the very, very, very few generations to live the change. In 2014, I had the chance to meet His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. That is not at all what we've been told he is in these last few days. Have you seen the images of him asking the boy to lick his tongue and all that bullshit? Okay. Oh my God. He's a very funny guy. He's an holiness. He's not going to ask any boy to suck or lick his tongue, at least not in the meaning that we, as Western minds, used to think about that gesture. But I had the chance to spend some time with him, and I asked him if this sentence was actually belonging to him, because I used to use this sentence when I had the chance to give international talks and some international events. And usually we read on Facebook, Instagram, aphorisms by Martin Luther King, the Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, whoever else. Most of them are dead. So it was alive. So I had the chance to ask him, did you really say this sentence? And the sentence was, there aren't humans born under good stars or bad stars, but just humans who know or do not know how to read the stars. So I hope, girls and boys, you know how to read the stars, because when there is to face an unexpected change of epoch, you need to know how to orient yourself in order to orient yourself and to orient all the others that you'll be meeting along your life. Because most of the people don't want to work on the orientation of their own lives. They ask to be oriented by anyone possible, rather than taking the responsibility of taking your own orientation and to take your own decisions. You think to buy what you want. You think to vote what you want to vote. But you are buying what marketers want you to buy. You are voting what politicians want you to vote, and so on. I hope you are aware of it. So in these moments, in this half an hour plus Q&A time that we'll be sharing this experience together, I will try to put some stars in your skies, okay? Dots. You might agree, might not, I don't really care. I'm not here to have all of us the same point of view. That's not the epoch to have all the same points of view. This is the epoch where everyone needs to have his own point of view and must find the way to combine your private point of view with others. Otherwise, it's going to be an unexpected epoch of conflicts. Then I will put some stars in your sky. Then I will try to connect those stars in the way that I've been able to do it, capable to do it. There's not the proper way necessarily. There's not the right way necessarily. It's just my personal way based on my personal life, professional life, personal experiences, and so on. Actually, we don't have too much time, so I will try to go quite fast, okay? I've been asked to go fast rather than leaving something apart. And we'll try to see in the Q&A moment if we can go deeper in some topic. Because my desire to put in the condition to connect your own dots in your own way in order to create, let's say, design today, your own life. This is going to be objective. I'm going to list you in the next seconds and minutes. I'm going to put you a few stars in the sky, and you will see that it's going to be objective. I will offer you my personal point of view, not as a benchmark. Again, just one of the possible possibility, and then will be up to you. 2020, 2030, 2045 have been considered moments, milestones in the recent human history where huge change could be visible by also the more not sensitive one on the planet. So moments when the huge change could be visible by anyone. I started using this slide already in 2004 or 5, and it's nice to keep using it even today that we already went through the 2020 to see what really happened. We are talking about trends, future, how to design the future. The future cannot be designed, but can be expected. Because if there is going to be a change that is going to be underwater for a long while, and you're traveling your life wherever, when the trend comes out, if you are far away, you're not going to catch it. You might lose an opportunity, or you might be crushed by this big change, like a tsunami. Can you follow? But if you get the sensation that something is going to happen, and instead of going all around, you start feeling that there is a change and moving forward, you can get it. Use it in the proper way and not to be crushed by it. Can you follow? Yes. Let's see if these trends are fine with you. There are four big mega trends that will design the future of our planet, our economy, our lives, our world. First, demography. You already kind of proof of this. But let me show you why it's going to be a huge change. This is the growth of humanity from 10,000 before Christ up to now. If you look at the curve, you see that for centuries, a super long story never changed. If nothing changed for such a long time, you don't need to change. Whatever works here is going to work here, here, here. And by working, I mean your convictions, your dogmas, your ideas. Can you follow? But then something happens. We're in the room. How many are we? 100? I don't know. How many are we today? 5. How many? 5. 65. How many seats do we have? 70, 80? Okay, if you keep being 65 for centuries in a room of 80 seats, we can work on it, right? First, the eldest one, then the young one, then ladies first, and then male second. Yes? Okay. Then very fastly, we start to be 130, and then 260, and then 720. Those rules are not going to work anymore. You're going to kill each other to decide who's going to sit in front, who's going to sit back, who's going to drink the water, who's not going to drink the water, who's going to rest, who's going to work for others, right? You think that your rules are going to work because you're being educated in a way that has been working for a long while. But if everything changed and changed like this, look at the numbers, double, 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 double. 8 times you were born somewhere here, right?
Yep.
So you've been educated by your parents based on the way they were looking at the complexity of the world. And your parents have been educated by their grandparents based on the experience that they were having in a world that was 8 times less complex than now. What? Dimmi, dimmi. Dove... Ah, okay, see here. That's fine. So this is going to be very fast. And the way we are able to adapt ourselves when there are such a big changes is not that fast as fast the curve is. Right? These are the numbers of the future. Full stop. Who is going to rule the world in the future? Numbers, not ideas, cultures, theories, gods, convictions, bullshits. Numbers. Numbers. I'm not judging. I'm not saying funny, bad, good. I don't care. I need to be prepared. Study Chinese. Your next vacation, China. Your next vacation, India. Your next vacation, Arabic world. Africa. I'm talking about vacations because you're young. You still can afford to decide going to Formentera, Ibiza, okay? Getting drunk, getting drugged, having sex on the beach and so on. How many? Obviously none. How many on OnlyFans? Obviously none. Tinder? None. Pornhub? None. He said, but since you never meet anyone going on Pornhub OnlyFans, they're always somewhere else. Numbers, 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 numbers. Where Kinshasa is, where Dar es Salaam is, how many people are going to work there? How do you look at those countries? How do you look at that continent? How do you look at those cultures, behaviors, way of thinking, conventions, ideas, religion, food, sex, genders? The problem is that you're not nothing. You judge, but you're not nothing. Or at least if you know something, it's not something that you experienced, something that we've been told by someone else. Media, FedEx, Sanremo, NBA, Formula One, soccer, singers, politicians. Most of them, they never went there. So the fact is not, how will we manage thousands of people landing on our country, crossing the ocean or the sea, the Mediterranean Sea in our case? They're coming, full stop. And you should hope that not all of them will come. Because if all of them will come, you're fucked. It's the end, just for an arithmetic point of view. So the only possibility we have is, who are you? Who am I? How can we match somehow? Second trend. I will skip some slides in accord with the professor because we must save some time for the Q&A. So demography is going to redesign the future, but not based on your conventions, on your history books conventions. Because on our history book, we have been told that we were the white ones, colonizing the entire planet, possessing the entire richness, ruling the entire world, and it's a game that is over, based on numbers. Second big trend, technology. This is the first time as humankind, we are living the possibility not only one reality, but at least of three different possible realities. Reality, the real reality, the reality that we known for centuries. And then it's the first time that we can talk about virtual reality. Never happened before. Augmented reality. Our brain, the way it works, our minds are not prepared to face the possibility of three different possible realities at the same time. I know that you understand the meaning on the rational level, but you don't get it as a world being, okay? Because you never experienced it. We didn't experience ever as a kind, as a species. So there is no chance for us now, maybe in the next century, yes, to say, I know what the virtual reality is. In fact, if you wear Google Glass or whatever, you start playing with something and you miss the point, you fall, because your brain doesn't know if it is true, virtual, augmented, or just reality. Can you follow? You are not ready. So if you get it, when it will rule the change or redesign the future, you will lead it, drive it, use it. If you want, when everything might be even virtual and augmented, you'll be lost somewhere. AI, blockchain, metaverse, NFT, big data, tokenization, 3D printing, IoT, Internet of Things, Internet of Everything, Internet of Bodies. Everything will be interconnected. Everything. And your generation is not even yet this generation, because these are going to be the next generation. Look at the investments of venture capitalism into interconnected toys. I'm saying that the next generation of citizens, voters, buyers, politicians, managers, parents, teachers, students will grow up in a world, natively speaking, interconnected. Something that I'm not used to. I can understand the meaning, but I didn't experience it when I was a child. So my brain has not been designed by the experience itself of an interconnected world. So I can understand the meaning, but I don't get the point. Look at the curve. Oops. And look at this. This is fun. This is the way people met and got married. This is a centuries generation at school, in the courtyard, at the playground, and the sports team. And this is the next generation. That means that you can do anything on that. You should redesign your own life consciously in this tool, consciously. Because when you go on the web, you use a product without paying anything to use it, you are the product. Again, when you go on the web, you use something, you get something, informations, products, whatever, without paying, you are the product yourself. Because the next oil is going to be data. The next oil is going to be informations. Study somehow, I don't know how, but just study also at least the basic of data science, at least to understand the way the world is going to work. Everything will go through it. And some countries already got the point. This is very brave, something that I don't really like at all, but this is happening. This is happening. Everything will be designed to go through this stuff. Everything. We are in Union Square. We are on the 5th Avenue building. We are in London City, downtown. The municipalization is just telling the people, you do not work out to manage some tool, your legs, and the new tools, your device. You're not used to it. It's not enough to have a device in your hands to know how it works while you're walking. Because we have been walking without the device in your hands for centuries. Now you have to manage two different actions. Did you ever drive in London, in UK, on the right side of on the other side of the street? How many of you? Do you remember the difficulty, to look at or even if you have to cross the road, your brain goes on the other side. Think about doing this, crossing the road. It's not working. It's not working at all. And the next generation will be shaped and designed by experience that even yourself never did before. And this is going to happen. This is going to happen because this little lady grew up being pictured by her mother when she was a little baby, and her brain was already recording an experience who designed her brain in a way to make her think that the world goes through this. So when she enters the living room, she doesn't see a television like your eyes see. She sees a big screen, and when there is a screen, there is a mobile. And a mobile, to work well, has to be something like this, something like this, something like this, something like this, not something like this. This is a metaphor. You're not going to be probably a designer of television, okay? You have to translate. Every time that you win some money in a lottery on Christmas Eve, or you have a good meal with some friends, or if you do some petting with your girlfriend or boyfriend, you do? No. Never. Such a boring life that you're living, my gosh. Okay. This is what happens in your brain. Electricity, chemistry, something that you cannot control. Feelings, emotions, passions. This is exactly the same thing that happens in your brain when you get a like on a picture on Instagram or on Facebook or a direct message. chemistry, biology, dependence. You can't control it, but you're not used to it. So we are actually moving from a linear logic in this epoch into an exponential logic. And the growth is going extremely fastly, extremely high, like this. For centuries, slow, 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 epoch of changes, time to follow the changes, change of epoch, no time to follow the change. Another great meeting I had in my life was the daughter of the fourth son of the Mahatma Gandhi, Tara Gandhi. She's 90 and something. And she told me that her grandfather, she grew up in the ashram with the Mahatma Gandhi, used to tell her, Tara, speed doesn't make the difference if you go in the wrong direction. So I think you can understand that since we go in the wrong direction here, we have time to change direction if the direction goes in the wrong way. But if the direction goes in the wrong way at this speed, there is no time to redesign it. That means war, problems. So technology has to be not only designed, but oriented. Third big driver, redesigning the future. Sensitivity to the environment. Again, numbers. In just 5 years, we have destroyed 10% of the Earth's wilderness. Just one generation in the history of humankind, my generation, your profession, you can tell me, mi stai per dare un messaggio? Dimmelo. Ho 15 minuti. Allora, facciamo un po' easy, no? Se no stai in messaggi. So, this is a fucking problem. Such a short time to destroy such a huge richness. These are numbers. Earth overshoot day. Do you know what is it? How many know? He knows everything. Whatever I ask, he raises his hand. Okay, good. I secchioni di una volta. The Earth overshoot day is the day on a planet scale when the planet Earth is not capable anymore to offer to humankind resources based on how much resources we ask the planet, okay? There's a quantity of water. Once the quantity is over, if you keep asking for water, there is no water left. Unless you leave the planet to regenerate itself to give you the quantity of water that you're asking. But since you don't ask yourself, how much water do I want to ask the planet? But the planet is just a quantity, not never-ending quantity. You should keep asking yourself, am I asking the right quantity of water based on the fact that that's the only quantity we have? Or I don't care and I keep asking, and who cares? We will see. Okay, when I was born, 1969, actually 1970 in this case, the balance was perfect. Just 1 year to leave the planet to regenerate itself, to donate to humankind all the resources needed. In just even less than my lifetime, in 2018, before COVID, the quantity of resources were overshooted by August. That means that since September till December, we used resources that the planet Earth was incapable to reproduce. Game over. There will be the day where the overshoot day will be by December 31st, and that will be the last day. Finished, over. That's it, no more water. Who cares if you're white or black, tall or short, Muslim or Christians? Doesn't make any difference. No more water, fine. Obviously, the rich ones will drink the last cup of water, but will be the last anyway. There is also an overshoot, a counter overshoot day In the case of Italy, that was May, even worse than the average of the planet. Because obviously in Bangladesh, they don't use resources as much as we do in the Western countries. And this is the global debt. This is the global debt. We are using money that is not actually existing. I'm just saying that you are living in an epoch that, as a humankind, we're using resources, even money, that are not existing even on the planet. So what a strange kind of humankind. It was able to divide the atom without being actually able to learn how to divide bread. We want to be the next unicorn, the next billionaires, the next influencers on Instagram, the next fucking whatever you want to be. But before trying to be the most influent, try to be able to divide bread. Because what is needed now is not bread, it's the capability to understand when it's time to divide something with someone else that if you don't divide anything with, is going to be asking you for your own bread. And if you're one and there are 90 millions, you are lost. We're not even been able until now to respect this amazing. My suggestion is go on the web, download this declaration and read how many freedoms, how many rights should be the same for any human living on the planet. And then look at the word and ask yourself, is it working or not? If the answer is not, you should ask yourself, what am I going to do to make it work? So the system did not work, it's not working, will not work. So these were only bad starts, obviously. But there is a fourth trend that is going to redesign everything. As Martin Luther King used to say, it might be you're not responsible for the situation where you're living in. In your case, that's the way it works. But you will be if you will not do anything to change it. Again, you might not be responsible for the situation where you are living in, but you will be if you will not do anything to design it. The fourth big driver that is going to redesign the planet is going to be ethics, values, behaviors. Thanks God, whoever God is for you. Humans are the best technology. We are the most evolved species living on the planet. And you must be responsible of the capabilities that you have been donated as a member of humankind. Responsibility, ability to give responses. An epoch of changes doesn't ask you much. A change of epoch is going to ask you to redesign yourself in order to lead the change and not to be led by the change. If you want to be led by the change without taking responsibility on your life and on everybody else's life, please at least don't break my bones. Don't bother. Shut up. Pray to be rich, to be healthy, to be safe, to be whatever you think you should be to be fine, but please shut up. Don't go in the streets, crashing windows, kicking the ass policeman, burning cars. That's not the way anymore. Be the change you want to be to lead the change.
A sombra tá te seguindo? Filha, é normal, filha. É normal, olha a sombra da mamãe aqui. O sol que faz a sombra.
Continuo? Finito? Okay. So we can end with this because I'm sure that I can use part of the presentation left behind, answering to a few of your questions. But let me finish with this video. When was the last time that you looked at your shadow being amazed of it, surprised, magnetized, wondering? When was it? I can tell, never. Because you say it's normal, it's obvious. It's not. The day you're going to lose the capability, the ability to be surprised by life, to be surprised by the changes happening, to be surprised by the change of something, to be ready to ask yourself, what the hell is that? You might be scared or might be happy. That's not the point. But at least you are aware of the change. And you will keep asking, because machines are programs. Humans are projects. Again, machines are programs. This lesson, I hope you agree, it's a program. Your life, it's a project. You need to use the program for your own projects. We are not the projects. IULM itself, it's a project for the institution. But it's your fucking life you have to take care of. We are programs in your hands, in your minds, in your hearts. We can't be the projects. You don't have to listen to anyone telling you who you must be or become. That's the way you need to behave as a parent, as a professor. You know what's your project. If you don't have any project, you will be just a copy of someone else. And when there is an epoch of changes, it's fine to be a copy of something that already worked in the past, because nothing changed, at least not so fastly. But if you live into a change of epoch, you can't be a copy of anything. You need to be new, innovative, sustainable, and human-centered. I called it, we can maybe talk about it later, humanovability. Because remember, machines are for answers. Humans are for questions. Question. That's a nice way to go to the Q&A. Questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I would like to thank our guest. And we would like to move on with the Q&A session. So I ask the first representative of the group to come here.
Potremmo aver bisogno delle slide dopo. Okay.
So the first group is Three Nations. Thank you.
Questions already written.
Yes.
Oh. Improvvisazione pura.
If you want to take the chair.
You want to sit? You don't want to sit. I sit.
Grazie. So good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Having a look at your website, we noticed that the catchiness of your titles is peculiar. So I wanted to ask if, do you think that these titles, these provocative titles, can boost discussions, or do you have any other specific aim?
Now, which titles?
Like, for example, I noticed the one on the discussion about Fedez and Emanuela Orlandi, that was L'ironia mai trovata.
Mm-hmm.
So many of them are kind of provocative, let's say.
Most of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So the question is?
Do you have another aim different from the one of provoking or enhancing discussions?
This is hard. What's your name?
Sofia.
Sofia. My first book was The Time of New Heroes. It was titled The Time of New Heroes. And I think you're going to be the heroes of the next big change. A hero is someone who takes the lead, who takes the responsibility of the entire kingdom, who says, I'm going to lead. Follow me. So to make it happen, you need to be provocative somehow, because you need to get attention. You must offer suggestions. You need to offer suggestions. So I don't want to provide answers, obviously. I don't believe in answers. I believe in bigger questions. So I'd like to leave the room today, the classroom, not after having brought you any solution, any answer, but maybe a bigger question. Obviously, at least for me, the biggest question is, who am I? What's my aim? Because then everything comes later. If you don't know who you are, and trust me, no, don't trust me, just stay with it. You will never know who you are. Why? Because you keep changing. But if you remain with the question, who am I? Every single second of your life, it's going to be much easier to answer to the events. So sometimes I prefer to be provocative, sometimes not, depends on the audience, depends. But if I should change just one habit, I like to be provocative.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, second question, a typical group.
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Federica from the Atypical Group. And we were wondering, you said that everyone can see that the economy is continuously changing. And you also said that in your speech that it's moving from a circular type of economy to a spherical one. Do you think in a time span of 10 years it will evolve again? And if yes...
Okay, about the time span, it's hard to say. Can we go on the presentation for a second? If it is fast. Otherwise, I can do... No, we can't. Okay. We grow in a world when we believed that the economy was linear and never ending. That's the reason why we kept asking the planet resources. Linear and never ending. Then what happened in this epoch? We realized few tiny, super important things. First, it's not never ending. There is a limit. There's a quantity. As a humankind, we never thought there was a quantity. Now we must be aware of this first topic. Second, we live in a closed space. We can't live it. And if someone will live it, going on the moon or on Mars, will not be you. Is it clear to you? They're working on running away, looking for somewhere else to stay. And we don't even know if there are Martians living on Mars. Because if there are Martians living on Mars, who the hell are we to go there occupying that planet? Unless we not see Marshall coming here to occupy planet Earth. So, closed, not linear, not never-ending, but the main reason to be aware is that thanks to the quantum physics, in this epoch, we realize that we are all interconnected. That means that if I don't take care of Sophia, I'm going to lose an opportunity. I must take care of Sophia, her thoughts, actions, beliefs, emotions, results, successes, because it affects me, because we are all interconnected. So, moving from linear into a circular economy to solve problems. But the circular economy regenerate, recycle, and so on. But that's not the problem. Because we are going to solve the problem of plastic, but we're not going to solve the problem of electronic devices. Go on the web, look at the cemeteries of electronic devices, and you will see what is going to be the next problem. Why? Because we need a spherical economy. to the circular approach, we need to add a third dimension given by the centricity of humankind, a reflection on the meanings, on the aims. I don't care about being the next unicorn just because I invented plastic. I want to be the next powerful influencer thanks to the fact that I've been reflecting on the effect of my invention. So the third dimension gives to the circular approach a spherical approach.
Okay, thank you very much. So we would like to move on to the third question, the group Zinners.
Hello. We were interested in how can we put this into practice and encourage some collaboration and partnership between not only different industries and sectors, but people in general, but also industries and sector in pursuit of sustainable solutions.
There is no chance. Well, it's going to be very hard because we should go through a global new consciousness. Mr. Einstein, Professor Einstein used to say, problems have to be solved at the deeper level of consciousness, differently from the level where the problem is being produced, okay? Because if we knew that in just 25 years, we're going to destroy the 10% of richness of the planet, we're not going to do it, obviously, but we did. That means that we don't have the program as a generation to solve the problems that ourselves we produced. So you are going to be the solution. So you are going to be the next managers, the next leaders, the next entrepreneurs, the next politician. You don't have time to wait for us to lead the change because we do not have the program to solve the problems that we created. So enjoy company, go to work for a company that tells you which is the aim of the company. Don't go to work in a company just following money or career or whatever, because you're going to be part of the problem. Find the strength to be the next startupper. Create solutions. Be the solution. Gandhi, be the model you want to see in the world. I know it's going to be fucking hard. What was much better for our parents' generation. The place in the bank, the money in the bank, working at the post office, everything safe, secure. It's done. It's over. Don't follow that mental path. It's going to be already dead.
Thank you very
what
much.
you want to be.
Thank you very
What
much.
is
So next question from the concept group. Thank you.
So, hi, I'm Martina from the Concept Group, and we were wondering, because you talked about being in the change of epoch and how part of the change is also sustainability. And I've been studying about the concept of decolonization of the imaginary, which is the idea that society has to kind of evolve and adopt a new way to see businesses and to see the economy in order to be more sustainable. And so I was wondering if this kind of concept could be helpful for companies in moving towards this new mindset that we were talking about.
Absolutely, Martina. But we don't have to be more sustainable. Sustainability is not a measure. Sustainability is a choice. You are or you are not. It's like when I work I've been working for 23 years in the financial market. And then the last years, 10, 12, we started talking about ethic finance, sustainable finance. But what the hell is that? If you need to give an aggettivo, come si dice in inglese? Objective to sostantivo? To a noun. It means that you need to specify something about it, right? I can say that this is blue and that is white. Fine, I'm specifying the color. But finance can be specified by the word sustainable or ethic. That means that I'm fine to have the possibility of something white or something black. But if I need to underline the necessity to be sustainable, or ethic, that means that there will be something that is not sustainable and not ethic, but can be not sustainable, not ethic in finance, in politics. And professors need to be prepared, can be more prepared, less prepared. It needs to be prepared, full stop. So not more sustainable. Sustainable 100%, full stop. Are you gonna work in a company 100% sustainable? Go. They're not, leave it. I know that you need the job, you need the money, you need to pay bread and milk and the flat. Leave it. Leave it.
Yes, thank you. So, next group, Better Together.
You won't find a job.
We hope so.
So, hi, in terms of ecological issues and creativity, what is the balance between the affluence of ideas that you have and to select the best one despite of the others?
What is the balance between the affluence of ideas that you have and to select the best one? Sai che non ho capito? Qualcuno mi può aiutare? Someone can help me?
Like when you have a lot of ideas in terms of creativity, how can you choose between the one is the best and all the ideas that you have?
Okay. Wow. When you have an idea and everybody agrees with your idea, it's not a good idea. Again, when you have an idea and everybody says it's a good idea, it is not a good idea. I prefer to face 100 people who disagree with my idea rather than 100 people who agree with my idea. If I want to be a creator at least, and an innovative manager or entrepreneur or whatever else guy. And as Gandhi used to say, at the beginning, they will ignore you. Then, I was it in English, they will have fun of you. Then they will battle you. Then you will win. So if they will ignore you as a creative, that's fine. That's common. No problem. If they will start having fun of you, it means that the idea could be good. Hey, don't do that. That's a bullshit. Shouldn't be you to repaint the wall. It should be done by the municipality. If you keep working on it, they will start fighting you. Why? Because your idea will start to appear as a good one. And by good, I mean useful. A good idea is a useful idea, is an impactful idea, is an idea who doesn't leave anyone behind. That means being a good idea.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. This is really interesting. So, Mr. Worldwide, please.
Hello. So we were wondering, what was the creative spark that gave life and made you join the Regeneration 2030 project? And also, how did you develop it to achieve your goal for creating a global community committed to the sustainability and regeneration of the planet?
You're talking about the Regenerative Society Foundation?
Yes.
That's an attempt of few companies to give our contribute to redesign the planet as a company, not just as persons or managers. And I should repeat what I already said before. It's not going to be easy. The difference is going to be always the same. Do I want to lead the change? Do I want to be led by the change? If you are just yourself as a singular individual, fine, do it by yourself. If you are not just an individual, but you're part of a community, just do it both as an atom of society and as a part of your community. I don't know who you are, guys, but just looking at you, you are obviously an individual, but you're also a member of the community of the university, a member of the community of your sport team, a member of the community of your family, of your town, of your religion, of your whatever. Just feel yourself, think about yourself as part of your sphere of influence. And again, decide if you want to be led by the sphere itself or if you want to lead the change of the sphere. Have you been working on changing your family habits, the university habits, your town habits, your religion habits, or you're just following the mayor of the town, your father and your mother, the dean of the university? But do it softly, gently, kindly, not breaking balls, not crashing windows. There's not the time anymore. It's over the time for revolutions in the streets. Now the time is for the revolution of consciousness. You can't be a role model without changing your consciousness. You're not going to make richness and prosperity destroying stuff. It's not economical. It doesn't work. Someone will have to repair the windows. Who cares about the reason why you crashed the windows? We will need money to repair the windows. It's so basic and easy. Change yourself. No money to invest. Be a role model, and then you'll have people following you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Very interesting.
Next group, Pulp Fiction.
It's gonna be hard. My gosh. I thought it was a professor, not to be. How can someone?
Hi, thank you, of course, for the talk and for being here. I wanted to ask, since you are big on gratitude and vocation and care, we saw for your website that you did various seminars on the matter. We wanted to ask you, how can someone manage to practice gratitude and kindness when constantly having to deal with someone that is kind of difficult in the workplace? The question is more oriented towards what's the duality between being a more strict approach, a more kind of power dynamic, rather than just giving everything on kindness and trying in a different
about the way.
Yeah.
It's a matter of sensitivity. If you need knowledge, you can get knowledge. You study. You have the money to go to the university, you pay for the university, and you study. If you don't have the money, you go on the web, you find something, and so on. But all of us, we have the possibility to get new knowledge. First level. Skills, competencies. You need time. You need to practice, to learn on the job, to learn in the room, in the classroom, whatever. Less easy to get. But in my personal opinion, I'm very humble, the difference will be made by the sensitivity. And the sensitivity is something that you have if you want to have it or you do not have. It's not a matter of how much does it cost or where can I get it or who is my professor, which is the university. Knowledge, it's a matter of that. Competences and skills, yeah. Training on the job in this company rather than in another one can make the difference. But sensitivity is democratic. And it's just 100% yourself. If you become more sensitive, you can find a way to stay in touch. And this is, I know it's running, but this is important. My gosh, it's like having a dog running after you. And everything is an exchange. It's an economical exchange. Level 1. We can have a contact. This is a contact. And most of the time we have contacts in our lives. Jobs, even in family, contacts. We touch each other, that's it. But then there could be something else, something more that you should work on to become more sensitive. To create a connection. Because we can touch, we can create a connection. But it's not enough yet. We can have a relationship. Don't worry. Because I see you don't like sex. So. We can have I have 5 daughters, so I'm fine. I already done. You can have a relationship. Contact. Second step, third step, a relationship. But work on having links. If you think about also the familiar relationship, or even male and female, or male and female and male, now you need to bring all the examples, otherwise you lose part of the audience. It's really up to you to decide if this is just a contact, a relation, a relationship, or a link. A link is forever. All the rest has an end. So, can be your son, your daughter, your father, your friend, your colleague, the student sitting next to you, your customer, your voter, who cares? Work on links. Links are forever. All the rest has a time. I'm not saying that you need to get married with anyone you meet along your way. I'm just saying, even if you meet someone, even if you give some money to an homeless lying on the street, find a fucking link. He's not looking after money. There will be someone else giving in her money, water, bread, which is just already something more than money. Stay there. Spend 5 minutes. Touch them. Tonight, go out, find an homeless, stop, talk with him, touch him. But touch him where he's dirty, because no one touched them. No one talked to them. No one asked them, who are you? What do you need? Really? They need to exist, to be considered. They're not looking for money. They're looking for existence. A reason why. A project. You could be the project of their life in that moment. Do it. You will find yourself different, and you will feel how hard is touching someone very dirty, smelly, rather than giving him some more money, rather than touch them. And do it also with a common people. Do it with a customer. Create links. Don't sell stuff. Hope I answer you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. So next group, Cloud9.
Hi, first of all, I wanted to thank you for your speech and for being here. So we've been doing our researches and we have been looking at your speech with TEDx at Cortina. And we wanted to ask you about the 4 megatrends that you've talked about in this speech. So I was wondering if you believe that digitalization and innovation will influence future trends. Although you've already elaborated, I wonder if you wanted to go a little bit further on the topic.
Yes, there will, but there is already a new change ongoing, which is the personalization. Digitalization is is the main topic of Industry 4.0. We just entered the period of Industry 5.0, which is exactly the combination of what I name Humanovability. It's the combination of resilience or innovation, sustainability, and human centricity. If you go on the web, you look at Industry 5.0, you will find what I'm telling you. And it's a way to name the economy and the industry world right now. And I'm very happy because I'm talking about Humanovability, which is exactly the same thing, at least since 6-7 years. And digitalization was the driver of the step before. Now we just enter the time, the epoch of the personalization. The person brought back to the center. Innovation, sustainability, human centricity. The combination of the three is Humanovability, or Industry 5.0, as they name it lately.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I think we have time for a few more questions. Creativity Avenue.
Thank you very much. So I wanted to ask you, I read an article from you. It was about innovation and sustainability. And I read that you define sustainability as the idea that every choice we make today has a consequence on tomorrow.
An impact.
Yeah, an impact. And you talked about being aware of this. So I wanted to ask you, how do you think we can teach the next generation, or younger people, to be aware of this fact that all their choices have an impact on the 7 Ps, because I read that you talked about people, profit, partnership, and so on.
I was expecting for the list. You want to teach them?
Well, I
teach.
think, yeah, educate them, because I think it's actually the thing that is needed, is actually needed.
Education is more interesting than teaching, because teaching is like training. It's very interesting in Italian, for the Italians one, insegnare, to leave a sign. You should work on the meaning of the words. It's very interesting to get the real sense. Insegnare, for teaching, insegnare. Formare, to give a shape. Forma, shape. Education is exactly the opposite. Exducere, to take out something from somewhere else. When your approach is not teaching, but it's educating, you're not putting yourself anymore in the position of the teacher, of the trainer. I tell you how. I explain you how. Listen to me. You put yourself in the position of the educator, the one who exducere, take out something from someone. And this means that you, as an educator, first believe that she has something to be taken out. You already have anything you need. In that case, I'm not a teacher anymore, a trainer anymore. I'm just a facilitator to put in the condition to use your inner richness. Because I believe strongly that anyone has his own richness. I'm just here to facilitate your process to become who you already are. This is fantastic. I'm a servant. I'm not the leader. But I become the leader being a servant.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next group, caffeine team.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We were wondering what are the most critical aspects of the linear economy that the spherical economy is trying to solve, and how can we successfully switch from the linear economy to the spherical one?
Well, we already said something, so I don't want to repeat, but thank you for the question. And as I said, speaking about Professor Einstein, the spherical economy is to go back to bring humans to the center as the beginning and the end, because we are not at the top of the pyramid as we believed we were. We are an integrating part of the system, but we are the only part of the system that is not integrated, because we believe to own, to possess something that was just given to us. So the spherical economy goes back to the center, you know, wondering, asking, what about this shadow? Who am I? If you don't ask, who am I? What's my purpose? What's my aim? What's my project? But you just ask yourself, what's my program? What my questions are? You're going to destroy the world, because if you want to go on Mars, looking for water, because that's the main reason why, because water is going to be missed a lot in the future. Water has been named the blue gold. You should look at numbers about the desertification of the planet at the moment. So if we are going to run on Mars looking for water, and there will be some humans landing, actually the word shouldn't be landing, could be marching. I don't know what would be the new word, because when we went on the moon, we used to say allunaggio. I don't know in English how it is. Moon landing. Okay, thanks. We will be Mars landing, probably, in that case. But if there would be Chinese and the Russians and Americans Mars landing, do you think that just because we will be on Mars, we won't fight? we keep leaving the main questions behind just because we are still working on a linear approach of economy, where only the most powerful will win. So back to the spherical approach means going back to the center, bringing humans back to the awareness of being an integrating and integrated part of the system. But since we are the most impactful ones, we must be the most responsible ones.
Thank you. So I think we have time for a last question.
Last question.
So, Group Pentagon.
Pentagon, very American.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Camila from the Pentagon, and our question, I will be very brief.
Camila from the Pentagon sounds very American.
Yeah, right.
I would run away.
And I will be very brief in asking you our question. So what is a real life example of a spherical economy today in our days? And then if you think that a shift to this model can actually concretely exist.
Yeah, there are a few examples. Actually, spherical economy is not something that just because of being nominated now didn't exist before. We had a spherical approach. If you go talking with the American natives, so Aboriginal from Australia or villages in the Amazon, in Brazil or wherever else, that people already lives in a very balanced way and spherical way, okay? So I want to be very clear. Sometimes we need new words to redesign the future, but most of the time the good words are new only as words but not as meanings, okay? Spherical, Patagonia, do you know Patagonia? Patagonia is a perfect example of a spherical brand, native. What I trust less, all the brands who went after the Black Lives Matter movement or the Me Too movement. Did we really need a black guy dying in the street, killed by 3 crazy policemen? You remember the fact? To start all the Black Lives Matter movement? Was something new? What was new? What was new for Nike to do something like this at an NFL match? What was new? Racism was new? Was 400 years old already? Was trendy? There's difference. So when I was telling you where you'll be working, ask for obviously the salary, the condition of the work, of the job, whatever. But ask the people interviewing you, who are you? What's the aim of your company? How much innovative you are? That means how much capable you are to design yourself every single day, because the curve is going very fast. This job that might seem the most cool one could be the worst tomorrow. You might lose the job. How sustainable are you? Don't tell me just about the environmental approach. Tell me about the 17 SDGs. Health, life underwater, life on the planet, gender equality, education, a collaborative society. Please, company, tell me. And then how much humans will be at the center? They will tell you many blah, 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 blah. And you should ask, can you give me a few examples? As you're asking me. So there are many examples. I wouldn't just underline something very specific because there are very few. I'm investing in startups that are very spherical. I invest in this startup that is named Ability, and we are Uberizing all the movement of people who can't actually move for their disabilities, okay? I don't know if you know that there are 4 people out of 100 who can't move by themselves, moving, going to do some shopping, to go to the doctor. When was the last time you saw someone in the street on a wheelchair or somewhere else? Never. When was it? Months ago? Years ago? I think that 4 out of 100 are living in the country without the capability to move. So we're trying to Uberizing the system, okay, putting in touch the need and the offer of the drivers, because you need a very specific cars and so on. That's very interesting. It's very innovative. Uberizing something means being innovative. It's very sustainable because they couldn't move, and it's very human-centric. Humans back as an aim. The aim are humans, not the money. Money is just a tool. Money is just an energy to make things happen. Can't be the aim, money.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I think we have time for another question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Circular Mind Studio.
Yeah,
yes.
we wanted to ask you. So you once talked about that to bring about change, we need new people with a new kind of mindset, with an entrepreneurial mind and a social heart. So would you mind like discussing a little bit more about this?
Yeah. But actually it should be entrepreneurial mind, social hearts, and ecological souls.
Yeah.
Okay. Entrepreneurial mind means these are what I name wise innovators. That's a provocation to the world that we all want everything smart now. I don't believe in the smart society, the smart cities, the smart working. I believe in a wise society, wise cities, wise working. Look at the difference between the two words, wise and smart. Because smart is just about efficiency. Wise is about wisdom. If you are wise, you are surely also efficient. If you are efficient, that means that you are also wise. Can you follow? If you look after richness, doesn't mean that you will create prosperity. If you go in Africa, there is a huge richness, but there is no prosperity. When there is prosperity, there is also richness, not the opposite. So an entrepreneurial mind means that we should look at our lives as an entrepreneur. That means which is going to be my profit, my result, my return on investment, the project of your life. And the money is going to be just one of the very few aspects of your capability to be entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone who starts something to move from point A to point B. Social art is all about sensitivity that we spoke about before, thanks to the question that I was asked by that guy, okay? Social arts. You are a social being. We don't live with any connection with others. During the pandemic, the 2 years of pandemic, that was a mess. And they used words in the worst way they could. They called it social distance. If they could call it physical distance, it was very clear for anyone. They call it social distance. And for social animals, having a social distance is a social and psychological trouble. Just tell me 2 meters in between this body and that body was clear to anyone. If you remember, at the beginning of the pandemic, we were watching TV, asking ourselves, what the hell are they saying? What does it mean, a social distance? And what happened 2 years later? What was the communication? The words used by the mainstream media. Let's go back to, we are going back to
Normality.
Normality. Fuck normality. Normality does not exist in nature. Nothing is the same to anything else. There is nothing similar. Norma, in Italian, norma means measure. Normality means measure. The need of humans to size something in order to understand it. But you can't size anything in nature because nothing is similar to anything else. So back to normality means back to prisons.
Okay.
So instead of understanding the great gift given by the pandemic, that was awareness, sensitivity, openness, they told us, now you're free to go back to normality. We're singing on the balconies. We didn't sing anymore on balcony. We were chatting with the people living on the same floor of our building. We forget them again. We're thinking about our relatives all over the world, crying because we were missing them. We already forget them again. We went out running to get the chance to stay out without having been a sport guy or sport girl ever before. And then we went back eating junk food without running anymore. Come on. Sensitivity was the only gift brought by the pandemic.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So we will finish the question.
Hello.
We have, I think, 5 left. Okay.
5 questions left.
Yeah. Maybe we go a little bit quick.
There is a prize? No. Go.
So hi, me and my group listened to a Spotify podcast, Being Human, where you were explaining the Humanovability concept, and you explained that innovation is altering the pre-chosen order of things, and that whoever has the means to innovate is the one that also established that order. So, and then you also added that no one would destroy that order and go out of their comfort zone. So our question was,
they created that order.
yeah, exactly. So our question was, how can we, or could we or they break this loop?
Thanks to your will. Otherwise, there is no chance. Because as you said properly, an innovative approach to life is absolutely 100% not natural. No one wants to innovate anything, because once we get a comfort zone, that doesn't mean just richness or whatever else that we consider good. There's no chance for us to change the comfort zone unless you are aware of a new possibility. In that case, thanks to your will, you can design a new world. Otherwise, no chance to be innovative at all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So next question, Inspiration Station.
Hi, so my group's question is, gratitude is one of the most important virtues today. Do you think it will increase or decrease in importance over time?
Absolutely increase. Okay. You study marketing also, right?
Yes.
Have you seen the movie Fight Club?
Yes.
Brad Pitt was amazing in that movie. As an actor, as a male. How many of you girls like Brad Pitt? You're so shy, my God. That was objectively nice, cool, and sexy, but okay. There is a part in the movie when they're sitting at the bar, and there is Brad Pitt speaking with Edward Norton, saying he was actually against all the globalization, consumerism, and that stuff. And he was attacking, saying, you know what? We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. That's the way all the marketers have been working for centuries, to make you buy things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't like. The average of we can tell that basically the majority of us use something that we bought as a cloth more or less 8 times in our life. Tonight, go home, open it, look at your clothes, and try to remember how many times did I use this shirt, these jeans, this pair of shoes. Count it. Now, a brand, thanks to a good marketing approach until yesterday, had to move from the lowest level that was just being a brand up to a considered brand, up to a preferred brand. Among the brands, you need to be considered. Among the considered ones, you need to be preferred. Among the preferred ones, you need to become a must-have brand. among the very few must-have brands, you need to become a love brand. Kemi Roberts, such and such is you. Then, the new horizon that I try to design is how to become a grateful brand. Because being a love brand, Google, Nike, Adidas, Apple, okay, it's always, we have marketers designing a market to make you buy things you don't need and money you don't have to impress people you don't like. I want to be Patagonia, a grateful brand, a brand that you are grateful to. Grateful for what? For having taking the lead on change. Doing what? Selling stuff, that's fine. Becoming what? Rich, fine. Try to be the next unicorn on the planet, fine. The richest under 30 on the planet, fine. The most influent one on Instagram, fine. But thank to what? What was your message? What was your project? What was your impact to make the people grateful to you? Not in love with you, dependent on you, needing you, must having you, considering you, preferring you. No, grateful to you. When did you say thank to a brand just because you bought a pair of shirts?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the club group.
Oh. I was talking about fashion yesterday.
Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, our question is very simple on the slide. We actually, I'm gonna explain it a little bit better to you. Everybody was so nice. They asked you question inside of your comfort zone, and we wanted to ask you something about fashion, which is a big interest of our group, concerning the 4 mega trends. So concerning the environmental sensitivity, ethics, and technology, and so on. So what do you think is going to be the next trend in the fashion market industry?
What's the brand of your trousers?
They are vintage Italian.
They are vintage. What's the brand?
There's no brand. There's literally vintage
your
Italian.
shirt?
Put it, Giulio. Can you read it? It says
Artigiano.
Artigiano.
Yes,
Artigianato
artigiano.
Italian.
Made in Italy.
No name, no
No
brand.
No name.
You are.
I don't know if you want to check too.
Okay, and your shirt, either
My shirt is Primark. No, it's fast fashion.
is what?
Fast fashion. Primark.
Fast fashion. Okay. How much did you pay?
For the pants,
No, for the shirt.
for the shirt, I paid €5.
That's marvelous. What's your name?
Martina.
Martina, do you really think that a shirt of €5 can be sold? That's a good price.
Not if it's made out. It should probably be made.
So do we think that it's possible to design a shirt, to prepare, to make the shirt, to send the shirt somewhere on the planet, to get the shirt from the port, to bring it to the shop, to pay someone working in a shop, showing the shirt to a few Martinas before one Martina is going to buy it, maybe without selling it, and then to bring the shirt back to somewhere, to send that shirt back somewhere else, to destroy the shirt at the cost of €5? Is it possible? Yes or no?
No.
It's not possible. Fine. Now, what's the first problem? Obviously, I'm not judging you, Martina, because I have my daughters coming back home. Hey, Daddy, decided to spend money. I could spend like $200 for a shirt at D&G. I just paid $10 to a shirt to Zara or H&M. And I told them the same thing. You don't wonder. We are convinced that since you're not gonna waste money in crazy way because we can't pay 200, 300 euros for a shirt, we are good because we buy a shirt for €5. We are the good ones because we know the value of money. We don't throw away money to big brands who are selling bullshits for €100. So what's the problem? The fact, not the problem. Otherwise, I should be judging Martina. That you don't ask yourself. You don't wonder. And that was the first level of awareness. Second level, you don't even have a brand. So I can even ask Martina, do you know anything about that brand? How do they behave? What do they think about gender equality? What do they think about environmental topics? What do they think about the necessity to bring education to anyone on the planet? What do they think about life underwater? What do they think about life on land? What do they think about the need, the right, the freedom to live a healthy life wherever you're living, Africa rather than Alaska? Or we don't wonder, we don't care. It's just a brand. It's just a pair of trousers. Then try to put yourself in the position to enter a shop, finding a pair of shorts, a trousers, a shirt, with everything explained. This is what we think about. This is the way we brought this shirt from here to here. That's the way we will destroy the shirt if you don't buy it. That's our fight for freedom and rights. This is the cost of the shirt. At least you're going to be aware of it. It's not just a shirt. It's economy. Because in the same way, we vote. How many of you voted the last time? I'd like to know who you voted and by and why. This time was very hard to vote. Wasn't it?
Yes.
Very hard. To be convinced to put the cross on that name. Why can't you be the next designer of trousers? Brand ambassador? Politician? Professor? How's it going to be the next university? How's going to be designed the next experience of a lesson at the university? How you would like it to be? Why don't you design it? Why don't you go to Professor Cano and say, I had an idea about the future of university. Gianni, listen to me. You know what how your minds works? He's not going to listen to me. Who am I? You are no one, exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go to the next question.
Hi, I'm Ginevra. First of all, I wanted to thank you. And our question from my team and I was, what do you think innovation is and how it evolves over time?
Sorry, yeah. Innovation is, as someone said before, to alter the established order of things to do new things. And we already understood why it's very hard to be innovative. And yes, it evolves over the time, obviously. But the problem is not.
But how?
Exactly. The problem is not if it does evolve or not. The how is given by the why. Yeah. If you want to impact, thanks to your innovation, you must ask yourself, which is the impact I want to produce? And then, how will I work on it to make it impactful? Not to make money. Money will come thanks to the impact that I will have produced. Thanks to the fact that that specific impact will be the right impact needed by the community now. If the only questions will be how much money we will make out of this innovation, you will not care about the impact, and you will send a pair of trousers without even a brand on it at $5.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next question, the right formula.
Hi, I'm Eleonora from the Right Formula. And before you mentioned the Grateful brand. So our question is, which are the first steps a business has to take in order to become a grateful brand?
I already said, brand, consider, preferred, must have, love, grateful.
Okay.
I don't want to repeat myself much. I'm sorry to be too fast. Again, why should you be grateful to any kind of stuff you're wearing, you're using, wonder yourself, if you're not grateful to them and you paid for it, try to be the next designer of the next clothes that you're wearing, car that you're driving, house that you're living in, food that you're eating. You know, if you go in the vocabulary and you look at the word gratitude, in Italian, let me translate it, memory of received benefit, memoria di un beneficio ricevuto e prontezza di mostrarlo. Memory of a benefit received and promptness to show it. Word of mouth. Gratitude is very rare in our life. It's the most rare emotion you can feel for someone and or something, even more than love, even more than respect. Respect is the most desired emotion we want to prove in our social life, the external life, and love is the strongest desire we want to feel in our life of relative, parents, friends, lovers. How many? What's your name? No, what's your name? How many people? Do you have more people you love or more people you respect?
More people I love.
Okay. There's more people loving you or respecting you?
I suspect loving me.
You suspect?
Yeah.
That's not an answer.
Well, I can't be sure.
Okay. Give me a proportion between love and respect. Give me a number. 1 on 10.
Yeah. So I think
love
7 people out of 10.
Respect
3.
3. And being passive, loved
9.
9. Good for you.
1.
Respected 1. Yeah. But you should balance the fact that love is for your inner life and respect of your outer life, okay? It's hard to be loved in your social life. But let's go to the point. How much are you grateful to someone? How many people you are grateful to in your life? How many you can say, I'm grateful to you? Not I love you. I can be loved by my daughters. That doesn't mean that they will be grateful to me. Can you follow? I can be respected in my industry as a professionist, as a manager, as a popularizer. That not means that they will be grateful to me. Can you follow? So how many people is grateful to you? Few.
I am grateful to 4 people in my life.
4 people. You know what I mean when I say it's rare? 4. How old are you?
22.
4 people. And these people are very important in our life. Otherwise, she shouldn't be grateful, right? Yeah. Are you going to be for them forever?
I think so.
Will you be ready for them, whatever they will need in the future, even if they might disappear for 20 years and reappear in 20 years? Thank you. It's fantastic. When you're grateful to someone, you will be for them forever. When there will be something grateful to you, they will be there for you forever. You may lose even a son that should be in love with you forever, but might not be. There are thousands of stories of parents and sons who got lost, right? And I'm sure that these 4 people she's grateful to might not be part of her family, right? Maybe someone you met in your life?
Some aren't.
4. How can a brand create a connection, a link to make her feel grateful? That means forever. thanks to a benefit received, and prompt to spread the voice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
So we
you.
have our last question. Making a difference.
Ci metto un'ora a spiegarmi le cose, potresti dirmele? Ah, perché pubblicità è brutta, scusate.
Hello, do you
Era
think
naturale.
do you think creativity and intelligence
You
are
think
correlated? Creativity and intelligence. Like you can only be creative. No?
Not at all.
Okay.
I
Then
think that creativity is connected to sensitivity. I don't believe in the ownership of ideas. I strongly believe in the capability of our sensitivity to be connected to get the idea. Ideas are of anyone. Anyone can have that idea. I don't believe, again, in the ownership of any idea, but I believe in the capability of someone more than the majority of all the others to be connected, thanks to the capability to be connected.
so we don't have to be academically smart to be creative.
You need to be academically smart to create the substance, the base, the roots. Circle, sphere. Aspiration, vocation, being rooted. Knowledge, skills needs to be rooted. Strong, powerful. But then you need to be connected, thanks to your sensitivity. And you need to train it. And to train it, you need to desire to be sensitive. Because when you are sensitive, you are weak, because you are open. To be connected, you need to open your heart, to open your mind. When you're open, anything can enter. And then you get scared of what could enter your heart and your mind. Then the majority of people prefer to be closed. I believe in this. This is my belief. This is my dogma. This is true. This is real. This has been forever, so it's going to be forever. That's why most of the creative ones are not comprehended by the people of their epoch.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we ended our Q&A session. I wanted to thank our guests. And I also wanted to thank our students that prepared the question. I think we learned a lot from today. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.